Hello everyone, welcome back to The Budget Sportsman. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Inferno jacket from TideWe. And not only am I going to review the Inferno jacket, but I'm also going to give you a more broad overview of my thoughts and experiences on using heated gear for things like hunting, fishing, playing in the snow, or even working outside around the house. So let's dive into this review of the Inferno, and later on we'll talk more about my broad experiences using heated gear. Now, to be honest, right out of the box, I was not all that impressed with the Inferno jacket. But don't tune me out yet because it really grew on me over time. So a few months ago, I reviewed the TideWe Altus hunting pants and jacket set, and I really liked that jacket in particular. The fit, finish, and materials used on that jacket made it a very comfortable piece to wear, and I was hoping this jacket would be similar. However, when I pulled the Inferno out of the box, the materials just felt more stiff and loud. Now, on the outside, it's really not loud. It's actually a fairly soft and quiet material. But where the loudness comes in, or at least the feeling of loudness comes in, is the material used on the inside. It's more of a swishy material. It feels a little bit more stiff out of the box and a little bit more loud. However, after just starting to wear the jacket, it really has not been an issue. It just was a little bit different than I was expecting because I was expecting it to be closer to that TideWe Altus jacket. The jacket does come with this 10,000 milliamp hour battery, and it comes with a battery percentage indicator on the end, which is really handy. The battery stores and plugs in right inside this pocket right here. To turn the jacket on, you press and hold this button right here on your chest. To change the heat setting, you simply short press the button. Red is high and should give you about 4 hours of runtime. Medium is white and should give you about 6 hours of runtime. And blue is your lowest setting, giving you up to 10 hours of runtime. These are the advertised runtimes, but I have found it hard to really determine real-world run times since I rarely run the jacket on one heat setting for the entire duration of the battery. It's common for me to run it on high till I get warm, and then maybe reduce the setting to preserve battery life until I start to get cold again. Now that does bring me to a very good point. There is no doubt that this jacket puts off some really good heat. Right after Christmas, I was out on a fishing trip and we went out on the boat for some nighttime fishing. Now, I failed to wear enough layers and I got really cold, but fortunately this was the jacket that I was wearing and I had slipped the battery into the pocket. So I turned the jacket on and it totally saved that trip for me, and I was warm and comfortable with the jacket on high and even down on medium. Now, one other thing to note is that the lights on the button actually turn off after about 8 seconds of use. Now, that doesn't mean your jacket is off. They're just doing that so that you don't have a bright glowing light in the darkness. And I found that to be a really nice change from a vest that I tried last year where the light was on as long as the vest was powered on. All right, let's talk a little bit more about some of the features of this jacket. And there are a lot of pockets, and some of them, interestingly enough, are magnetic closures. So down here, you get these magnetic closures pocket right here on both sides. There's 2 magnets in each flap that you can fold down. You may have heard them close right there. If you're not careful, they are going to make a noise when you close. And behind that, you're going to have 2 zippered pockets that are really nice. They are a nice soft lining inside that are nice to put your hands inside. And all of the zippers on this jacket seem like they're really well made and probably a water resistant or waterproof zipper. Now up here, you're going to have 4 pockets up here on your chest. 2 of them right here are going to be zippered, and I really like those pockets right there. Typically, if I'm hunting, I would often store my phone right there for easy access. If I'm in a saddle, I can't always get the pockets on my pants. So I really appreciate that. But one thing that I don't really care for is behind the zippered pocket is an extra Velcroed pocket. And sometimes if I just have this pocket open, I'm just trying to slip my phone in, it just feels like there's a lot going on here and it's hard to figure out what opening is for your phone. And of course, this one being Velcro, I'm never a fan of Velcro closures on hunting gear. So that's a little bit of a downside for me. Another thing to note is it does have a hood and it's got drawstrings around the hood. Here's another area where it feels a little bit more loud and crinkly. I don't know if you can hear this, but there's some sort of a material in sort of the lip of the hood that would come over your hat. And if you crinkle that, it makes quite a loud sound. Again, adding to that feeling that I had early on, initial impressions, that this was a little bit of a louder jacket. You should also notice that the elbows are reinforced with a more durable material right there in high wear areas. Now, another thing that you'll want to notice here is that there are 2 D-rings sewn right into the jacket. And while I don't particularly use these, it would be a good place to maybe attach a rangefinder right here close, or maybe attach something like a Garmin InReach if you use something along those lines, or a GPS. And I think it could be a handy little attachment point for your gear. Another interesting little feature is that this jacket does have a safety harness pass-through on the back of the jacket. Now there's one more feature that I really want to show you, and it's a feature that really won me over on this jacket. On the back side, there is a zippered pouch. And when you unzipper both sides of the pouch, the flap drops down, and this is where your heating element is on the back side. But now it is a heated seat. And I went on a hunt recently in the late season where it was pretty cold and we were just sitting on packable chairs on the ground. Now from my experience in the past, I know that when I sit on those kind of chairs, my backside is going to get pretty cold pressed against that fabric and the breeze blowing under the chair. However, I pulled this flap down, turned everything on and sat on it, and boy oh boy did it make a world of difference. My only complaint about it is that it is not an extra heating element in addition to your back. This is the heating element for your back. So once you use it for your seat, you do lose a little bit of heat on the back, but your heat is still going to be on the chest, and I found it to be a good trade-off for the warmth on my seat. So with all of that said, I do want to share some of my experiences with you using heated gear. Over the last 2 hunting seasons, I've tried both the TideWe Inferno jacket and a heated vest from TideWe as well. And really my experiences have been the same with both of those pieces of heated gear. Believe it or not, I actually feel like they might make me a little bit colder for hunting purposes. Now hear me out. There's absolutely no doubt that the heated jacket and the heated vest both make my core much warmer, but I often feel like my extremities feel colder. And I have a theory, it's just a theory, but I feel like my body might actually stop regulating its own heat because of all the help that it's getting from the heated jacket or the heated vest. But because my body stops regulating because the core feels warm enough, as a result, my extremities like my hands, my feet, my arms, my legs tend to feel a little bit colder. Now this is just a theory and it's kind of subjective because it's very hard to compare from day to day when you're not wearing heated gear to when you are heated gear where the temperature's the same and how is your body responding. But overall, over 2 seasons, that's been my experience. Now on the other hand, my dad also has the TideWe heated vest and he absolutely loves it. He is in his late 60s and he says he's never been more warm in all of his years of hunting now that he has that heated vest. For me, heated gear has been extremely effective for activities like fishing, working outside around the house, or playing with my kids in the snow. It allows me to wear less layers overall and be less bulky while still staying nice and warm. And because I'm moving around a little bit, I feel like my extremities still stay plenty warm. Even when fishing from my boat in the cold weather, I've enjoyed wearing my heated jacket, but on the boat, I'm still moving about the boat a little bit rather than being completely stationary in a hunting position. And so I feel like the heated jacket really works well in that situation. Now there is one last point that I want to make, and that is that if I do want to wear a piece of heated gear for hunting, I almost tend to prefer a heated vest because I can get that heat source closer to my body and then wear insulating layers over that vest, and I'm going to be insulating that heat inside of all those insulating layers. Whereas if I'm wearing the jacket, all of my extra insulating layers are going to go under the jacket and actually insulate the heat away from my body. So for that reason, I prefer to wear the vest closer to my body. I feel like I actually have to run the heated jacket on a higher setting for the same amount of heat. On the other hand, if I'm doing something more active where I'm just trying to keep layers down, then the jacket is definitely the way to go for me because it's full coverage and I can just wear one jacket, turn the heat on, and stay warm as long as I'm not needing to really pile on the layers. So what are my final thoughts on the Inferno jacket from TideWe? Well, even though my initial impressions weren't good with the loud material inside and that loud piece on the hood, I have really grown to love and appreciate this jacket. I find myself wearing it more and more almost daily here during the winter months. And even though for me, I'm not entirely convinced that heated gear is the right thing for me as part of my regular hunting gear, it has worked really well for me in many other situations and outdoor activities like fishing or even just going outside to shoot my bow. One of my biggest drawbacks of this jacket, however, is the price. At the time of making this video, the price on this jacket is $190. Now, as always, I have a coupon code that's TBS18. It will save you 18%, bringing the cost of this jacket down to around $156. Now, while that is a little bit better, TideWe offers a lot of other heated gear like heated jackets and vests of all different sorts, and many of them can be had for well under $100, especially once you add on that coupon code. And while I really love the features of this jacket, especially this heated seat function, I'm just not sure that it warrants all of the extra expense. If I was in the market for some heated gear myself, I think I would be more interested in getting something like a vest or a jacket that was meant to be worn lower in my layering system. Now, if you're interested in getting some heated gear, I'm going to leave a link down below to TideWe's website and specifically the page where you can see all of their heated gear, from jackets and vests to bibs and heated gloves, heated seats, and all kinds of heated gear. So go ahead and check it out. And that coupon code TBS18 is good for anything that you find on TideWe's website. With all of that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of this jacket down below. Have you tried heated gear, and how did it work for you? Until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.